As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an orange glow through the dense forest, we set up our makeshift camp. Smoke curled from the campfire, mingling with the scent of pine and the earthy aroma of the forest floor. The Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot footage had been a hot topic around the fire, fueling both excitement and trepidation among us. Rubbing my tired eyes, I felt the weight of fatigue in my bones. 4 days of straight hunting and guiding on the water had left me exhausted. I sat on a log near the fire, feeling every muscle ache from the recent storm that had made the waters rough. The blazing wind and sun had taken their toll on me. The sound of the forest was both a comfort and a reminder of our isolation. I looked around at my companions who were equally worn out. We weren't just hiding from the law, we were surviving against the elements and the unknowns of the forest. "Man, that storm was something else," I said, breaking the silence. "Big swells left over, wind howling like a banshee. Haven't sat down for 10 hours straight." Tommy, the youngest of us, chuckled. "You and your big swells, Jess. Try lugging firewood up the hill all day." I smiled wearily. "I'll trade you next time. How's the water supply looking?" "Running low," Tommy replied. "But there's a stream about half a mile east. We can refill tomorrow." As the conversation lulled, my thoughts drifted to the strange occurrences that had been happening lately. My $1 power saw and a $200 axe had gone missing without a trace. If it had been a thief, the saw would have been gone too. Instead, eagle feathers had appeared where my tools had been, as if left there, intentionally. "I still can't get over those eagle feathers," I muttered. "Lost my axe and saw, found feathers instead. Sarah said it's a good omen, but I'd rather have my tools." Tommy nodded. "Eagle feathers are supposed to be a sign of protection or a message. Maybe it's the forest's way of communicating with us." I shrugged. "I'd take my tools over messages any day." We fell silent again, the crackling of the fire the only sound. Suddenly a loud wood knock echoed through the trees, startling us all. My hand went to my rifle instinctively. "What the hell was that?" Tommy whispered. I held up a hand for silence, listening intently. Another knock, then another, followed by an eerie stillness. My mind raced, recalling the stories of Sasquatch sightings in the area. "Everyone stay close to the fire," I ordered. "Keep your eyes and ears open." The night wore on with no further disturbances, but the atmosphere remained tense. As dawn approached, I knew we had to keep moving. The forest, with all its mysteries, wasn't going to give us any rest. "Pack up," I said quietly. "We need to get to that stream and refill our water, and keep an eye out for anything unusual." We broke camp and moved cautiously through the forest. Every snap of a twig, every rustle of leaves put us on edge. The forest seemed to watch us, an ancient living entity that held secrets we could only guess at. As we reached the stream, I bent down to fill my canteen. The cold water was refreshing, but my mind remained on high alert. I couldn't shake the feeling that we were not alone. "Jesse! Over here!" Tommy's urgent whisper cut through the morning air. I hurried over to where Tommy was standing, staring at the ground. There, in the soft earth, were massive footprints, unmistakably humanoid, but far too large to be human. "It's him," Tommy said, eyes wide. "Bigfoot." Crouching down, I examined the prints. "Looks like he was here recently. Let's finish up and move out. We don't want to stick around and find out how friendly he is." We quickly filled our canteens and moved deeper into the forest, constantly looking over our shoulders. The legend of Bigfoot had just become a reality for us, adding another layer of danger to our outlaw lives. As we made our way through the dense underbrush, I couldn't help but feel a mix of fear and awe. The forest was alive with secrets, and we were just beginning to uncover them. Back at the camp, I could feel the tension in the air. Everyone was on edge, knowing that something was out there watching us. I tried to focus on the task at hand, gathering firewood and setting up our tents, but my mind kept drifting back to those footprints. Jesse, you think we're safe here? Tommy asked, his voice trembling slightly. I looked around at the thick trees surrounding us, their branches swaying gently in the breeze. Safe enough, I replied, though I wasn't entirely sure. Just keep your eyes open and your ears sharp. The night descended quickly, the darkness wrapping around us like a blanket. The fire crackled and popped, casting flickering shadows that danced among the trees. I sat close to the flames, the warmth a welcome comfort against the cool night air. We shared stories to keep our spirits up, each tale more outlandish than the last. But despite the laughter, an undercurrent of unease lingered. Every snap of a twig, every rustle of leaves seemed amplified in the silence of the night. "Did you hear that?" Sarah whispered, her eyes wide with fear. I strained to listen, hearing nothing but the crackling of the fire and the distant call of an owl. "It's probably just an animal," I said, trying to sound reassuring. But deep down, I knew it could be something else, something much more dangerous. As the hours ticked by, the fire began to die down. I added more wood, hoping to keep the darkness at bay. But eventually, fatigue won out, and I settled into my sleeping bag, my rifle, within arm's reach. Sleep was elusive, my mind racing with thoughts of what might be lurking in the forest. When I finally drifted off, it was a restless slumber, filled with strange dreams and unsettling images. I woke with a start, the pale light of dawn filtering through the trees. The fire had burned down to embers, and the others were already stirring. We packed up quickly, eager to put some distance between us and whatever was out there. As we made our way through the forest, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being followed. Every so often I would catch a glimpse of movement out of the corner of my eye, but when I turned to look, there was nothing there. "Jesse, look!" Tommy called out, pointing to a cluster of trees ahead. I hurried over, my heart pounding. There, woven among the branches, was a crude structure made of sticks and leaves. It looked like a shelter, but who had built it? And why? "We need to keep moving," I said, my voice tense. "We don't want to be here when the builder comes back." We continued on, the forest growing denser and more oppressive. The sunlight struggled to penetrate the thick canopy, casting the ground in perpetual twilight. I felt like we were walking into another world, one where the rules of reality no longer applied. "Over here!" Sarah's voice was urgent, and I rushed to her side. She was standing next to a tree, its bark stripped away in long, deep gouges. Claw marks. Whatever had done this was big, and it was close. "We need to find a way out of here," I said, my voice low. "And fast." We picked up the pace, our senses heightened. The forest seemed to close in around us, the air thick with tension. Every step felt like it was taking us deeper into a trap. "Wait, what's that?" Tommy's voice was barely a whisper. I followed his gaze to a dark shape, moving through the trees. It was large, humanoid, and moving with a grace that belied its size. My heart raced as I realized what we were seeing. "Bigfoot," I breathed, my eyes wide with shock. The creature paused, turning to look at us. For a moment our eyes met, and I felt a strange connection, a sense of understanding. Then, with a fluid motion, it disappeared into the forest, leaving us standing in stunned silence. "We need to get out of here," I said, breaking the spell. "Now." We moved quickly, our fear driving us forward. The forest seemed to part before us, the trees thinning as we approached the edge. Finally, we burst out into a clearing, the bright sunlight blinding us after the dim light of the forest. "We made it," Tommy said, his voice a mix of relief and exhaustion. I nodded, my heart still pounding. "Yeah, we did. But we need to be more careful. The forest isn't just a place to hide. It's a place full of secrets, and some of them are dangerous." As we made our way back to civilization, I couldn't help but think about the creature we had seen. It was real, And it was out there, living in the shadows of the forest. And we were just beginning to understand the true danger that lurked within. The experience left us all shaken, but it also brought us closer together. We had faced the unknown, and come out the other side, stronger and more aware of the world around us. The forest had tested us, and we had survived. But I knew that the encounter had changed us, leaving a mark that would never fade. As we reached the edge of the forest, I took one last look back at the towering trees. They seemed to watch us, their branches swaying gently in the breeze. The forest held its secrets close, but we had glimpsed one of them, and it was a memory that would stay with us forever. Please email your stories to us at camptownscary@mail.com. We can't wait to delve into your frightening adventures and share them with our community.